Hi. For this video I'll show you how hydrologic cycle works. Have you ever wondered where the rain comes from? Or how clouds are formed? Come, let's explore. Hydrologic cycle. Hydrological cycle is also known as the water cycle. It is the normal water recycling system on Earth. It describes the continuous movement of water on, above and below the surface of the Earth. The water cycle involves the exchange of energy, which leads to temperature changes. Many processes work together to keep Earth's water moving in a cycle. It can be studied by starting at any of the following processes: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration, and transpiration. Evaporation. Water on the surface of rivers, lakes, and oceans heats up and becomes vapor, or steam, which goes into the air. Condensation. Water vapor in the air cools down and changes back into liquids, forming clouds. Precipitation. Condensed water vapor that falls to the Earth's surface such as rain, snow, and hail. Runoff. Water from rain or melted snow moves across to land, running into lakes and oceans. Infiltration. Water flows from the surface into the ground and becomes soil moisture or groundwater. Transpiration. Once absorbed water reaches the leaves of a plant, some evaporates into the air. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration, and transpiration. And that is how the hydrologic cycle or water cycle works.
Now let's talk about water balance. Water balance is used to describe the flow of water in and out of a system. Whereas the total amount of inflow, subtracted to the total amount of outflow is equal to the change in storage, or delta S, over a given time period, or delta T. Let us identify the various inflows and outflows in a given system. In a system, there is precipitation, evaporation, surface flow in, surface flow out, groundwater in, and groundwater out. Applying them to our formula, the inflows are precipitation, surface flow in, and groundwater in. The outflows are evaporation, surface flow out, and groundwater out. Here, we have a sample problem, where the given are a pond with an area of 300 acres, and in a month, the total inflow is 15 cubic feet per second, the outflow is 13 cubic feet per second, the change in storage is 16 acre-feet, precipitation is 1.3 inch. In this problem, we have to find the amount of evaporation in that given month. To solve this problem, we have to assume that the surface flow and groundwater flow are not significant. So, before we start, we must first convert all variables to inches. The inflow, which is 15 cubic feet per second, will be converted to a month, which will then be converted to days, then hours, then seconds. Next we would have to divide it by the area of the pond, which is 300 acres, which will then be converted to feet squared. We then get 2.475 feet, which is equivalent to 35.70 inches. The same formula will be used on the outflow. And we will get 2.578 feet, which is equivalent to 30.94 inches. We will then convert the change in storage, which is 16 acre-feet, divided by the area of the pond, which will then be converted from feet to inches, and we would get the value, 0.64 inches. Now, we will substitute the values in our formula. 0.64 inches is equal to the inflow, 35.70, plus the precipitation, which is 1.3 inches, minus the outflow, 30.94 inches, plus surface flows, plus groundwater, plus evaporation. But since we would assume that surface flow and groundwater flow are insignificant, we will rule them out. We are then left with 0.64 equals 6.06 minus evaporation. We then get the value of 6.70 inches. In conclusion, the amount of evaporation in a month is 6.70 inches. Thanks for listening. I love you.